Hey Bayside, Wesley from Bayside Davis. Hope you're having a great day and you're waking up and starting this day with a devotion, a refuel. There's an interesting verse at the end of Matthew chapter 5 in the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus says, He, God, causes His sun to rise on the evil and the good and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. And you read that and you're like, what does that mean? Great question. I mean, think about it. If you're in Portland or Seattle, you're not stoked on rain. You're like, please, Jesus, give me some sun. And then if you're in Palm Springs or Palm Desert and it's like 110 to 120 degrees for months and months and months, and the rain comes down one day, you're like, yes, Jesus. Every context is different. Some context, rain is not seen as a blessing. Some context, sun may not always be seen as a blessing. But if you put sun in Seattle, if you put sun in Portland, it is like the greatest day in history that year. If you put rain in a hot, parched desert land, it is a blessing on that day in that year. Here's what God is saying. The rising of the sun and the sending of rain is a gift from God on both the wicked and the righteous. There's a common grace of God that is extended to all people, whether you're following Jesus or not following Jesus, whether you're in the category of righteous or wicked, whether you're doing good or doing evil. The grace of God, the common grace of God, is extended to all people. And the larger context of this passage is loving your neighbors and loving your enemies. The reality is the cross of Jesus teaches us that God wasn't just loving righteous people, but God was loving enemies, people that weren't following Jesus, people that didn't love God, people that were living their life contrary to the way of Jesus. And Jesus came down and He died for those people on a cross to give them life and hope and forgiveness, and ultimately to be the greatest declaration of the love of God over this world and the people in this world. And if God loves us like that, we're to love other people in the same way. We're to reflect the nature of God by loving people that are different than us, that are living different than us, that maybe even hold different ideologies and philosophies of life contrary to the way of Jesus. This is how redemption takes place. Redemption takes place when the church says, we will love people outside of the church. And I just want to encourage you with that word today, just to consider and to pray and to be thoughtful in your own life of how you can love people outside of this realm, outside of the walls of the church, so that you can extend the blessing of God in the spaces and places that God has placed you. Let's do that. And if all of us collectively do that, so many people in our region will come to Jesus because we love all people as God loves all people. Much love to you. Hope you have a great day.